Galatians 5:22 through 23 says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law." The Bible says that the fruit, which is the harvest, which is the product of the branch, is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And so for those gifts, for those fruit, we say thank God for the harvest. Choir, we thank you for taking us and being our vehicle of praise this morning. You may be seated where you are. As the kids go to children's church, tell somebody Happy Thanksgiving to the side of you, turn to the other person and say Happy Thanksgiving, because it is a day to be thankful. Dion, can you put the picture of the oranges is at the bottom, the orange tree, on the screen for me? Amen. On September 16th, which is my birthday, 1620, before I was born, 102 passengers boarded a ship called the Mayflower with hope of finding religious freedom and a land that they could expand. After a 65-day voyage across the storm-tossed Atlantic, the Pilgrims landed in Provincetown, Massachusetts on November 21st. What's today? The 22nd? The 22nd, which would have been yesterday. By the time spring came, almost half of the people had died from poor nutrition and sickness. But despite the trials they had endured, in September of 1621, they held a feast of Thanksgiving after their first harvest. The Feast of Thanksgiving represented life after death of loved ones. This feast was to celebrate the fact that they had cultivated a way to take care of themselves and to provide nourishment that led to them living past death. The fruit that you collect at harvest time is the product of the weatherization in life. This tree right here is the tree that sits in the middle of my front yard. And as you look at the tree, you can see that there's green leafage, but in certain spots there are fruit, and those fruits, or that fruit, is an orange. Now this tree has a story that many of you know nothing about. I didn't plant this tree. I didn't till it. I didn't do anything to it. It was there when I got it, the house, and since I've been there, I've seen this tree go through many of things. These oranges start to blossom maybe around May or June. You start to see things start to pop up on the branch. And as the summer months go, you know that in August, it is really hot in August. So when it was 104 degrees, the oranges were still connected to the tree. Now, as it got hotter and hotter, the tree, but they continued to grow because they were connected to the tree. Last night, it was about 35, 39 degrees outside, and the oranges were still outside on the tree. It got cold, but the fruit didn't freeze over. It was still good, so it was God creating air condition for this tree to provide nourishment. I don't know if any of you remember when the floods happened and the rain came down, and it was a great rain that many people canceled church because of the rain. These same oranges were still outside on the tree. But today I have in my hand a product that has been weatherized, a product that has been heated, a product that has gone through the storms of our life. And I've seen it through it all. But yet and still it did not die, but it continued to live. And so this morning we say, thank God for the harvest. Because in thanking God for the harvest, we're saying that even though the storms of life came on, we still have fruit. The fruit is the end result of a process. This process is just like a blessing. When a person says that you have a blessed life, they are not speaking about everything that you went through. They are speaking about the end result. And so if I say, bless you, Daniel, I am saying that no matter what you go through at the end, people will see you and they will see that you have a blessed life. When a person says that you are blessed, they are not talking about your process. They are looking at what you have materialized right there in that moment with your family, with your children, with your spouse, with your house, whatever it is that you have. And they say, the product that you have in front of me looks blessed. And for that reason, you are blessed. Now, many of us go through lots of things in life that don't feel like it's a blessing. Many of us, when a person tells us that we are blessed, we may not feel or think that we're blessed. And so we say, how can you tell me that I'm blessed when I just lost my second son that was not born? How can you tell me that I'm blessed when my mother or my father just passed away? How can you tell me that I'm blessed when I lost my career or something happened to my body? I was no longer able to perform the way that I used to perform. How can you tell me that I am blessed? Because they are looking at the finished product of the weatherization. In the kingdom, as we know that the first thing that you have to do in order to become a kingdom citizen is you have to learn the language. Many times when you hear people speak of a different dialect, right off bat, you will know exactly where they're from. Even in the United States, if you hear a person from Texas that goes to Tennessee or they go to New York and they open up their mouth, people know that you're not from around that area. They can categorize you based on the tone in your voice. They can place you geographically somewhere. If you ever heard somebody from Mexico, and as soon as they open up their mouth and they speak the language of the Mexican culture or the Hispanic culture, we know that that person is from Mexico or Spanish descent. If a person from France comes over with their accents, we know that they are from France. It's with our mouths that people can depict where we are from. And so the language is the first thing that a person has to change in order to be a citizen of the kingdom.